Tonight, two families are homeless following a raging fire at Sunbuilt. The victims speak to Hot 7 News and make an appeal for assistance.
At the time I just saw my cable cut off. When I came outside, I saw the whole upstairs blazing with fire.
Armed mass bandits reportedly pull off a brazen daylight robbery in the Marshall community. And the tourism minister says good riddance to the CDC apartments. The details are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. It is Thursday, the 7th of February 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Conflicting reports have arisen between two families who have been left homeless following a Wednesday evening blaze in the Sunbuilt community. On the other hand, both families are counting their blessings after escaping with their lives. Rochelle Gonzalez begins our reporting.
Two families consisting of 3 adults and 5 children are now homeless and in need of shelter following a fire on Wednesday evening. The blaze occurred in Sunbuilt and completely gutted a 2-story house. Shane Emmanuel was the downstairs tenant along with his girlfriend and their 3-year-old son. Emmanuel is no stranger to tragedy after the mother of his first son died mysteriously and controversially after childbirth at the Victoria Hospital 7 years ago. He said his life was finally getting back on track and now he's back to square one.
Yesterday afternoon, I was downstairs watching TV, usually my girlfriend and my son. And in watching TV, I heard a funny noise coming from upstairs, but I didn't pay that no attention. I still continue watching my TV. At the time I just saw my cable cut off. When I came outside, I saw the whole upstairs blazing with fire. What I did, I come back inside, I told my girlfriend, well, to take my son and get out. And then I went and called the fire service. Time for me to come back inside my house to see if I could save anything. The whole house was already on fire. Like I just cannot catch a break, Rochelle, I just cannot. Everything I try is I just invest a little money, then all my money, everything disappeared. All my hard work. I just finished by a fridge, a washing machine, my weed whacker, my painting tools, my TV, my phone, everything, my bed, everything just go up in flames.
Emmanuel said he can't help but wonder if the children of the tenant upstairs had a role to play in the fire.
I wasn't upstairs, but I don't know, but I know they had little children upstairs. So I don't know if it's something they did and then after they left, because all the time the fire blazing there, I looking for the kids, but I never saw them.
Hot 7 News also spoke to Kezia Stephen, who was the upstairs tenant along with her 4 children, saying she highly doubts that her children, who she left home alone to go to the nearby shops, had anything to do with the fire.
I don't leave matches. I have a lighter, it's up in the cupboard where they can't reach it. I don't know, the TV was on, but I don't leave nothing so they can play in, but I really don't know what happened.
So you left them, but then they came?
They came right after me. They didn't stay.
Emmanuel lamented the fact that his family will most likely face separation in order to find accommodation. Meanwhile, Stephen said she would appreciate any help she could get. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. On Tuesday, armed bandits entered the Mon Bakery and now yet another brazen daylight robbery has taken place, this time in Marshall. Information reaching us indicated that Ultramart supermarket in Marshall was robbed on Thursday afternoon. It is a concerning trend for business owners and the general public. Hot 7 reporter Solange Alfred was on the scene.
Businesses within the Marshall community continue to be targeted by brazen criminals. Thursday, February 7th, approximately 11:50 a.m., Ultramart supermarket in Marshall was once again robbed. The robbery was perpetrated by 2 masked men who made their getaway through the gap between Ultramart and the nearby bakery. An undisclosed sum of money was reportedly taken. The owners have refused to comment on the situation. The matter is currently under police investigation. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred. Back to you, Lovely.
Tourism Minister Dominic Fede is backing statements made by NHC Chairman Timothy Mangal, who said last week that all the CDC apartments need to be demolished in order to add to Castries beautification projects. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
1 week after National Housing Corporation Chairman Timothy Mangal told members of the media that the old CDC apartments in Castries are overdue for demolition to make way for the ongoing beautification projects for the city, the island's tourism minister has backed him up. Dominic Fede said Castries needs to be restored to its former glory, and so the buildings must go.
I think that we need to strive to have the best living conditions for all of our citizens. I mean, our city, Castries, leaves a lot to be desired in its current state. You know, we have issues that are numerous. I don't care to be specific about them, but we have to make sure we do our best as a country, including the press, to see how best we can mobilize our resources, our intellect, our viewpoints to ensure that we advocate for the very best working condition, for working and living conditions for our people.
Fede said it is not a case where the tourism industry is being given more priority over the people of St. Lucia.
My information is that Central Castries used to be the hub of the middle class of St. Lucia many years ago. And it was a vibrant city center that we need to now revitalize and to bring back life into it.
The minister said the government will undoubtedly look after the well-being of the residents currently living in the marked buildings.
I'm sure that whatever we do as a general principle as a government, our view to development is very holistic in terms of how we treat people that are affiliated with the various actions that we would take as a government.
In July 2018, the NHC was accused of being inhumane for the way they handled the Leclerc CDC eviction and subsequent demolition. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
With an ever-growing focus on improving the St. Lucian tourism product, a meeting between tourism officials on island and representatives from the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association was held on the 7th of February. Talks centered around the St. Lucia experience, tourist packages, and increasing revenue flow. Solange Alfred reports.
The visit by the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association is aimed at enhancing St. Lucia's tourism product to ensure a one-of-a-kind tourist experience. Minister for Tourism Dominic Fede notes key partners in the tourism industry were present to engage with the contingent from the Cruise Association. This initiative, he says, looks to bolster the economic development of the tourism industry.
Bring about a greater understanding between the two sides, the destination and the cruise lines. So, very critical meeting, and we are well represented here by a number of stakeholders, from the government agencies to central government agencies to also private sector entities, people who are into tourism excursions and taxi drivers, and also the people who are into tendering of cruise vessels like Foster's and Inc. and also Cox and Company, among others. So very critical interface with the Tourism Council and all of the various bodies responsible for managing the destination and for ensuring that St. Lucia continues to be number one.
Fede reports that the cruise ship industry in St. Lucia has been recording steady growth. He says, with St. Lucia being an ideal location for cruise ship passengers, the year 2019 should yield an increase in numbers.
We continue to see buoyant increases in the cruise numbers, and this year we had somewhere in the region of 700,000 passengers, well over 700,000, and last year in 2018. So this meeting is really a great opportunity for us to continue to grow. The industry globally is growing by about 7%. We are well ahead of that growth. We're growing at a pace of 13% in the cruise industry. And I think the fact that we continue to grow when there's no hurricane season and there are no disruptions and all the destinations are open, it makes the point very strongly that St. Lucia as a product is very, very strong, and the demand for it, for cruise passengers and for cruises in their itinerary, is very, very strong, and that is important.
Fede gave insight into the partnership with Carnival Cruise Line that looks to decentralize cruise ship visitors from docking solely in Castries. He notes that the project is making great strides.
If you look at the Genesis class, the advancements that we have done at Point Seraphim, it is not enough to host the biggest ships that are being made now. So the cruising offering, the partnership with Carnival Cruise Lines, which is at a very advanced stage where they will be investing the monies. So far they have done the assimilation to test the wind strengths and the currents of the tides to make sure that we come up with the best possible place for the construction of the facility. So that in itself is very welcoming news and very good news.
He says with the onset of an increase in mega cruise ships, St. Lucia will stand to greatly benefit from new developments aimed at bringing more visitors to her shores. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. Stay with us. There's much more news coming up after this quick break.